Hi there guys, and welcome to another Thomson 2018 video. Today I'm just doing a very quick run from here at Stevenage down into King's Cross, just again to show off the Spirit Sunderland livery that is about to be released by, be released through Thomson Designs. Lewis Clouds is part of that as well, and I'm just really impressed with it. This also comes on the back of the news from, actually I'll go into that in a minute. Should we go into that in a minute? That's probably best. Let's get going and then we'll get into that. So I'm guessing we're going to have to do our doors here. This scenario is by David Hopkinson, who's on my page, and I think is now available. I'm not sure, if I'm honest. I don't know. Actually, I don't think it's available because the reskin I don't think is available yet. As soon as it is, you'll know about it, and I'm guessing it's pretty imminent. Gotta love driving an HST anyway, ain't we? But especially one as pretty as that. What we've got on the rear? Chieftain on the rear. So yeah, what was the news? So what's been happening on Twitch quite recently is that towards the end of my streams, I've been interviewing various people from the Train Simulator community. Some of those guys might be freeware route creators, like Pete Mitchell, Speedy Pete, who did the XC route. There were Chris Horsfield I've interviewed, Albie Pearce of Super Elves. Last actually was Lewis Clouds, who did this. But I think it was last Sunday or the Sunday before, I actually interviewed the whole Train Sim Designs, well, the Train Sim Designs team that watch my stream, which is most of them actually, to be fair, and UK RD stuff. When we were talking about the pack, and it was also Brad from BH Reskins was part of that as well. It was the team that did the 91 VTEC pack. And while we were talking to those, we were asking about whether they'd be working on anything else together as a pack themselves. And they pretty much confirmed that the next project they'll be doing will be the VTEC HSTs. Now, ironically, that's going to be released, that's going to end up being released after VTEC have actually gone, but I don't think it's going to be a loss. I think the livery is going to be pretty similar anyway with LNER. What they've sort of come round to and what they've decided is to start afresh, really. So this one I'm pretty sure is based on the Super Elves HST, based on BH Reskins and Super Elves work together on it. And then you have the West Coast Mainline, or one of the variants of the Mark IIIs. Now, Ash Clark of Train Sim Designs did actually start a whole new livery for the VTEC livery for the HST, but used it was the Class 90 Mark IIIs. And there were some issues there about how to use them, or whether enough people would have them, so it's going to go back to using the Kuju ones. So what they've now decided is I think they're starting afresh and doing it through the Kuju stuff, which I think is amazing news, really. To get a pack as nice as the 91 for the HSTs would be beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I'm sure the guys have learned after doing the VTEC pack that there was, I say there was teething issues. There actually wasn't teething issues. What there was like one or two bits missing out of the manual, and I think an overestimation in the community's ability to take these reskins and put them in. Even in my reskin video, I've done the same thing. So there will be another reskin tutorial that I'll do, and the old one will be removed. It'll be my first video I actually remove, I think, properly remove. And the reason for that is about AP files and unpacking AP files, which is one of the things I didn't tell you to do at the start. So AP files, imagine them like DTG's version of a zip. And it means that all your root files and stuff were zipped in a little folder, and when the game needed them, it unzipped them really quickly and just used them. The problem with that is, for some reskins to work, you have to have everything in the same folder, which means you can't have it zipped. So my whole train sim folder is extracted from the AP files. I did 2 pretty in-depth tests over the course of about 6 months, about a year ago, to see any speed difference or load and tile difference or anything like that within the game, or stability issues within the game. I would say my experiment was inconclusive. That's probably the best way to say it. It was inconclusive. Now, of course, when you start adding reskins in and adding lots and lots of different bits into your game, you will get more issues because you're bulking the game up. You will get more issues. That is not to say that third-party stuff causes dumps. As a whole, it doesn't, and on a whole, it doesn't. Badly installed third-party assets can. Badly made third-party assets can. So you could get a upgrade to a loco, say, and it has a bit of rogue scripting in it that is using masses of memory that it doesn't need to. So there are different reasons why we get what we get. I know I go through this all the time, but dumps aren't just caused by one thing, they are caused by a multitude of things. You could run a completely vanilla stock version of Train Sim without any third-party content, and it would still dump. There are times when it would still dump. So the extract an AP file thing, inconclusive argument I have with that. But that was what was one of the things that was missing from the actual manual itself. And I think also there was a couple other tiny little things that some people get and other people's weren't. And I think what it really opened up to me and reminded me of was the issues that the first part, like, well, other third-party payware developers have when they release something. And now the reskin pack was thoroughly tested, but it wasn't thoroughly tested on people that didn't know what they were doing with Train Sim. It was all tested by people who knew what they were doing on Train Sim. And I don't think that's wrong. But, I mean, so there was 1 or 2 errors, and that is a team of 6 guys doing it in their free time. Now, don't get me wrong, they worked their absolute socks off on that. I would go sort of days without speaking to Chris, and usually I speak to Chris like every day. And it was just because he was so tied up doing this. So it's not like they didn't work to a deadline. They didn't work to a deadline, but they didn't slack. They didn't just do it as and when they wanted to. They did it, and they got it out, and they wanted it released. And I asked, one of the questions I asked was, does it give you more sympathy for developers when they release stock? And I think unanimously they all said yes. Yes, it does. But for me, actually, what it showed up is that they've still got away with a better release than some of the stuff we've been getting from DTG. It still had less bugs in it, still had less faults, and a better, more comprehensive manual. And they fixed it. Version 1.1 was out within a day, I think, 2 days. I think it's at version 1.2, 1.3 now. We've very recently got a fix for the 390, and I've been trying to do a 390 video for the last week. Have I got an FPS approval? No. No, I haven't. Have I been able to run it enough to be able to see if it stretches and breaks? No. Not at all. Am I irritated by that? Yes, massively. And that's not a DTG dig. That's a whole Train Sim thing. Sort this out. Let's get this community doing what it needs to do. Look what they did coming together. Train Sim Design, CH Scenarios, Lulad Reskins, UK Rail Designs, BH Reskins, all came together. And I think quite a lot of this, in fact I know quite a lot of helping each other out goes on behind the scenes, for all sorts of projects in train sim, but the more we act as a community, the more we can actually be a community, the more we can say to developers like DTG, what's going on? Help. Sort it out. This needs doing. I mean, look at things like open rails and stuff that came off of MSTS. There is ways and means of doing things and getting things done, and I'd like to be part of that. Would you not be? A few people even commented on my YouTube channel, if the community, the train sim community could get together and produce its own simulator. I mean, I'm sure it'd be a nightmare, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of egos in train simulator community. And somebody having to manage that, oh, that's a poison chalice. But if they could all work together, can we imagine what it'd be like? It would be spectacular. I reckon, absolutely spectacular. So I really fancied a HST coming out of tunnel as a screenshot. I mean, all you've got to look at is something like Stravis Games, who've come out recently with the route announcement of the XC route and the 323. Now, days leading up to that, there was sort of bits of people doing little bits. You had Speedy Pete who had done half the XC route. You had Callum working on a 323, and then all of a sudden there was this announcement of Stravis Games cross city route with the 323. They're going to jump on it, mate. They're going to jump on it. There's gold in them there hills, as they say. Right. This is for Chris, because he'll moan that if I don't do this, because I miss this on every... Oh no, it's not, it's the Pride one. Right, actually, on the subject of the Pride one, I quite like it. I think it's slapdash, if I'm honest. I think they could have done better. I think the Pendolino one looks a bit better. But there's a lot of... Every time somebody posts something about one of the Pride trains, everybody's going, oh, why is it on a train? Why is it on a train? Why not? Why is it not on a train? Put it on a train. It's fine. What does it matter if there's a rainbow on the side of a train for? I've got no issue with it whatsoever. The railway industry is quite well known for being quite accommodating, and has been for quite a while actually. Mainly because back in the day it was known as a pretty hardline place with a very male-orientated attitude. So they had to change, really. And they've done quite a good job. So yeah, I don't really care if you want to comment on the bottom of it. That sort of thing shouldn't be on a train. It's been rammed down our throats. Nah. It isn't really. Me and Klaus spoke about it in the stream as well. It's really not. It's really not. You might not like the idea of it. That's your choice. When you run your own train operating company, you don't have to put it on the side of your train. I don't like people just jumping on the bandwagon for it. I think the Pride movement has a very valid place in society. And if I thought it was just a money-grabbing thing, then yeah, fair enough. Or an attention-seeking thing for the train operating companies, then yeah, fair enough. But it's not. The railways do have a big part to play in the LGBT community, realistically. They're quite a decent employer for that sort of thing. You shouldn't have to say that in this day and age, should you? There shouldn't still be decent and wrong employers for people who want to love somebody else, is there? It's pretty daft, isn't it? It's pretty daft. Just be nice to each other. Just be nice. That's all I ask. That signal's just gone green off a double yellow, so remember that, Alan. It's not bad. 34 FPS at Hornsey. There isn't anything in Hornsey, to be fair. Dave's been quite nice with that. See if we can make it into King's Cross without a dump. I'm actually due a reinstall ASAP. Probably get done over. That's a bit of a lie. I don't know. Next time I have a day off. I say a day. It takes me about. To make sure I have everything, it takes ages. Absolutely ages. Oh, it's always a nerve-wracking point, isn't it? Copenhagen Tunnel's always there. If we can make it out the other end of this and into gasworks, we generally are all right. Can we make it into gasworks? Ah, it's a very pretty King's Cross. .31 FPS, not bad at all. I suppose that's the joy of splitting the scenario, isn't it? This is actually a two-part scenario, this is part 2 of it. Not the best stop in the world. I could have done with being a bit closer. Right, let's have a look what's around. So what I did note, 365s, I'm going to miss them so much. But hopefully they'll stay on the Edinburgh to Glasgow for a little while at least. 116 on there. Actually, do you know what? Nah, I suppose the Spirit of Sunderland should really be there. I kind of wish it was the back one now. And I am loving the white skirts. Now, I said this from the start, that the livery should have had white skirts and white roof. As soon as we saw that livery, I said, it needs a white skirt. The black skirt doesn't suit it. I know it just get filthy, but at least you know it's white and meant to be white. So I actually really like that. This is the Lord Mayor of Newcastle, so this is one that Chris is very, very pleased with. And every time it comes down in a scenario, I always miss it. So you've had it now, Chris, and it's stunning. Alright, and guys, thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And head over to Twitch Sunday and Wednesdays from 7 o'clock onwards. And yeah, Facebook group, always worth a laugh. contrary to some people's belief. So once again, guys, thanks ever so much, and I'll catch you next time.